Hello Pisces, Elsie here to do a bonus read for you. How are you, my water family? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here and watching. My two fishes friends, we are going to look at just tarot today. It's a bonus read, so I intend on reading from the current or the future energy. Look, this sometimes does not happen or resonate right away. It is a general reading, so this could be today, tomorrow, next year, year after that, right? So keep it in mind. That means that there could be stuff in the archive that's going on for you right now. Let's find out what is going on for you right now, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Just a quick thank you for all the ways that you love me on this channel, my water family. I'm a Pisces moon. That's why I call you my water family. Let's find out what's going on here. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Don't forget, Pisces, that private reads are open, whether you want those face-to-face over the phone, or if you're interested in a pre-recorded reading, please look at the pinned comment. All right. Tell me about Pisces. What do we need to know? Six of Cups is here. Feels like you're trapped in some sort of nostalgia. Well, maybe not necessarily trapped. What's the next card? We've got the Seven of Pentacles. Why is the Seven of Pentacles here? Because of the Four of Wands in the reverse. I feel like you've been single for a while is what it's telling me. Yeah, it feels like it's been a while. Maybe for some of you it's been 7 years. Maybe it's been 6 months. Maybe that's the longest you've been unattached or not really had anybody in your life. The Four of Wands in the reverse tells me that you're waiting for the most likely candidate to be stable. I feel like you're making connections, by the way. You could be on the apps maybe, or maybe on websites. I feel like you are making connections, but you aren't making any that are turning out to be stable. I feel like you're waiting for that. You're waiting for stability, for something to lock in that is stable. I think that you have in mind what you want. There is somebody here who I feel lives in the dreamland, lives in nostalgia. I feel like you are somebody who lives in sort of a dreamy energy, I'm going to say. We've got the Knight of Cups here, that you're waiting for somebody who's probably very sweet, very kind. The Knight of Cups has the grand displays of affection, or even maybe not so much grand displays. This person will display their affection, but they'll do it in ways that other people won't see. So, for instance, this person knows that you love, I'm going to say something silly, but olives on your sub. You know what I mean? Like, this person will do, yeah, I know that you like it this way. I know that you like it that way. I know that you like this brand of wine. I know that you like this particular restaurant. That's the way this person is going to show their displays of affection. So I feel like I am talking to somebody here who has been waiting a really long time. Maybe you've been single for a while, waiting for a long time to find the right one. And it almost, be careful about this, but I think it almost feels like somebody here is comparing to someone else in the past. Like maybe you had a really good relationship, and chances are if you've broken up with this person, it wasn't the best relationship, but maybe it was someone from the past, like maybe from someone you dated in high school, or maybe it's somebody, yeah, you have good thoughts, good feelings about someone that you dated in the past. We've got the Five of Cups in the reverse. The Five of Cups in the reverse for me is like there's no regrets that I have moved past that. But I think that I'm talking to a Pisces here who is just really waiting for the right person to come along. The strength is not in making a move. The strength is not in letting your lion go to rip apart everybody that doesn't agree with you. The strength is keeping the sword in the sheath on the hip and knowing that you can destroy with that sword, which is communication, connection, words, thoughts, and knowing that you can destroy with those things, but having the discipline to keep the sheath latched, right? To keep the sword at the side, or to keep the lion at bay. I feel like you're a person that is waiting, and you're not desperately waiting. You're a person who's like, I know my worth, I know what I'm growing into, and I'm not going to move forward and just take whatever shows up. The Five of Cups is in the reverse. I feel like it feels like you are comparing your future person, to somebody from the past. Look, it could be your father, right? It could be somebody who had a really beautiful father who really set the bar super high. And if that's you, congratulations, because not all of us got that. And so a lot of us had to go through a lot of crash and burn relationships because it wasn't modeled with our parents or our father, right? And so I feel like somebody here, the bar is set really high because someone in your past set the bar really high. We've got the 9 of Wands. So I think that what's going on here is that you don't have any regret about moving slow because you know your worth. You know you're digging your heels in because you know that you've built yourself to this spiritual place. You could be the spiritual teacher, but you've built yourself to this place of confidence. Maybe you've built your reputation. Maybe you've really changed yourself and had a complete and total overhaul glow up. Like it feels like spiritually, financially, within your job, within your confidence, how you look, how you dress. It feels like you have really worked hard on yourself and you have no intentions in being left here waiting for someone to communicate with you. We've got all of that ivy that is around that one wand. And when ivy grows, understand it grows on things that have stood for hundreds of years. Castles, trees, like things that have stood forever. That's when the ivy grows. And it's like somebody here is waiting for communication. I think that what you're doing here is, I don't want to get myself into the 9 of Wands energy again, where I'm waiting on somebody, unsure about somebody. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to stand strong, sturdy, stable, build confidence. I want to be on my own path and have someone join me. It feels like you're very confident and solid about where you're going, and you're not going to veer off the path for anyone. Tell me why the 7 of Pentacles is here, because I feel like you've been waiting for a long time. It might be because you're trying to heal from something from the past. The 10 of Swords being in the reverse tells me that you possibly haven't quite let go of something yet, something that really devastated you. Maybe someone cheated on you or betrayed you. It feels like there is something here that I feel like this is what you're trying to avoid, but it also feels like the 10 of Swords in the reverse tells me that you don't want to quite let go of this because you don't want to forget what it's like to be hurt like that, so it'll never happen again. I always say, forgive and forget, nah, brah. Forgive and tattoo on the inside of your eyelids so you don't forget how that happened, because if you didn't notice the pattern, you're going to repeat it, right? So we have the Ace of Swords and we have the Judgment card. So I feel like you are finally making the decision to cut away something that I feel has been holding on to you. It feels like a really a hard parting with the 6 of Cups here. The 6 of Cups is here with the 10 of Swords in the reverse. It feels like you can't let go of some sort of nostalgic memory, but I feel like soon, probably in the next few days, for some of you, next 10 or 11 days, swords for me are days, maybe 4 weeks for others of you, it feels like you finally are letting something go. It feels like with the Judgment card here that you've decided, you know, the way this particular Judgment card is looking over at the Ace, like, why not? Why don't I just cut it away? I feel like you're going to get some sort of clarity that is going to say, you know what, that's it. It's time to let it go. I've got to turn around on the path and go another way. It feels like being reborn, or a thought process, an epiphany that brings healing, that allows you to let go of some sort of nostalgic thought pattern that I feel you've already healed from emotionally, but not mentally, if you understand what I mean. We've got the 4 of Wands in the reverse, and I feel like you're holding back from anything that does not match the bar. Whatever the bar is. Somebody set the bar really high here. Tell me what this is. We've got the Emperor, so it could be your father. It could be somebody in your life who was an influence, who was somebody who is of influence. It could even be, you know, a boss you really got along with. It feels like there is somebody in your life who set the precedent of what masculine strength, sturdy, stability, somebody who is honorable, noble. It feels like somebody set the bar, and you haven't yet found anybody who matches that. And so I feel like the bar that is set has been really high. And so when you find the Emperor, you will know, because it's going to remind you of whoever set the bar. Could be a grandfather, could be a father, could be a brother. We've got the Five of Pentacles, could be a sister with masculine leaning energy. We've got the Five of Pentacles here. You are no longer connected to this person. So they could have been someone who is in your life like a boss, or maybe this is a member of your family that you live across the country from or in another country from. It feels like you are disconnected from this person. The Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. But this person, what they instilled in you was a work ethic. They instilled in you that when you do it, you must do it with precision, perfection, analytics. You must think things over. You've got to go slow. When you're making a decision to enter into a contract with somebody that is going to last for a long time, you've got to go slow. So the Nine of Pentacles being here tells me that you've grown up to be somebody who is very confident, who really takes care of themselves, not only on the inside, but also on the outside, and somebody who possibly is someone who is mimicking the Emperor. So maybe you have your own business, maybe you're a small business owner, or maybe you're somebody who is in upper management in whatever you do. Maybe you've got a high position in whatever you do. And so this person instilled a really good work ethic in you. This person instilled that you're worth it. This is your worth. Don't you ever go less than the Nine of Pentacles. This is your worth. Tell me more about the Five of Cups, because I feel like you've healed from something in the past here, emotionally, but not necessarily mentally, but I think that's coming up right away. We've got the Six of Pentacles, we've got Temperance, and we've got the Six of Wands. I think this is a relationship that probably didn't last much more than maybe 6 weeks. It feels like it was a whirlwind sort of, I don't know if it was a situationship, but it feels like something that was rocky. It was like it was going back and forth, hot and cold, hot and cold. And I don't think we necessarily came to a place of alchemy. We didn't really agree on everything. It feels like somebody here, maybe you gave more than they gave. It feels like you gave them a lot. They didn't give you a whole lot. It feels like you were always the one who was giving more time, effort, energy. And you may have been the one that pulled away from the situation, but it feels like it is already in the past. It is something that I feel hurt your heart, hurt you emotionally, and I feel like you are finally letting this go here. Tell me about Judgment, because I feel like you're about to go on a different path here. What is going to be on this new path? We've got the Death card. This is transformation. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I kind of love that. So we've got the new path is bringing transformation. So once you transform, once you let go of whatever you've been holding on to for a while, I feel like you're no longer going to be single. I don't think you're going to be single much longer, because the Seven of Pentacles is here. And once you cut away or let go of this Ten of Swords in the reverse, that's when everything changes. What changes is you begin to listen to your intuition. And you're like, you know what? The next one will be the long-term one. It feels like you finally come to this place where that you are enough, you have enough. Your intuition is now feeling really rich. Your intuition, you see the value in your intuition. And I think that's why you've been single for so long, because you really are now going to be listening to your intuition. Is there anybody coming in the future? Is there anyone coming in the future for Pisces, please? I feel like you're really prepared to meet someone, that you're ready. I'm going to say you're ready. If you're single, you're ready. We've got the World card. We've got the Nine of Cups, and we've got the Three of Cups. I do believe you're about to meet somebody here. It does feel like with the World card here that you have ended a chapter of living in the past, of comparing everybody to that person from the past. Now, I don't know if this Emperor is the person you're comparing them to. It could be somebody that you were in this relationship with. It feels like it was very steamy and sexy, and they made you feel very desirable, but it didn't feel like it was a very even match. There was a lot of fire, a lot of attraction, but no compatibility, and that's the place where sometimes people don't understand. It falls flat. Great, we're swiping left, we're swiping right. You're cute, let's meet, let's do it. And we have no compatibility. Then it crashes and burns, and instead of healing, we go to the next one. I feel like you, instead of going to the next one, Pisces, you stayed single. You healed the self. You closed the chapter. It took you a while to figure out where your happiness was, because nines are all about building it by yourself. So I feel like you built inner happiness by yourself. You already have wish fulfillment. You're not looking for wish fulfillment in anybody else external to you. I feel like you've already got the wish fulfillment. So when you do get into this Three of Cups energy, when you start being social, going out with people, naturally, things are going to flow to you because you're in your pre-empress energy here. Tell me more. There is somebody coming here. I do believe they're probably a fixed sign. They may be an Aries, but the king is all of the fixed signs as well. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. It's a very big personality, but it feels like you're going to hold back from this person because I think that whoever the emperor was in the past that taught you about functional, caring, kind, noble energy, it moves very slow. So I feel like when you meet this person, you will know that you have met an emperor. Tell me what else I need to know about Pisces, please. We've got the moon energy. We've got the Hierophant. I feel like somebody here is not going to be single for very much longer. It feels like you need to get out of your comfort zone, first of all, and you need to start going out with people. Stop staying home. The Four of Cups here tells me that you've reached a comfort zone where you're on your own, doing your own thing, following your own path, and that's great. But what you don't see is that in the Three of Cups, you are going to meet somebody. And so I feel like your intuitive energy or the higher self is telling you, get out of the comfort zone. It's time to get into doing things face to face with people. And whatever that is. Look, if you don't have any friends, I don't care what the excuse is about you not having any friends. You can always join a team. You can always join a club. You can always join something where you will meet people face to face. And so if you're not ready for it, that's cool if you're still in your comfort zone. But I feel like what you don't see is that there is some sort of really deep commitment coming here. And maybe it's just this. Maybe it's a Nine of Swords. It's you worried about, that I'm going to have to become unstable. I'm going to have to put my heart on my sleeve. And I think that it's going to destabilize you. It worries you a little bit with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups is here. I feel like you're open to love. We got two cups here, one in the hand of the Knight, one in the hand of the Queen. I feel like you're open to deepening a connection, but I feel like you're worried about your stability. I don't really want to give up what I'm doing. I really like how stable I am. I don't think you'll have to give it up with the right person. That's the thing. So I feel like there is somebody coming in the future. For some of you, it's years in the future, I'm just going to say. For some of you, it's days. I mean, it's a general reading. I can't really give you a time frame, right? So the whole deal is if you focus on yourself and then put yourself out there into groups of people where you're making friends, not dating groups, not speed dating, not all that crap. Go out and make friends because friends, Three of Pentacles, is the foundation. And if it can't start there, then then you're building your house on the sand. You're not building your house on the rock, right? All right, I'm going to go for now. Yes, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Take care, Pisces. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Love you guys. I'm out. Bye.